da, da. Oh, wait, it helps if I do this too. Fancy. I need to work on the outro, just the end of the music, just a little bit more. Hello, hello, and welcome back to Retrieving Sanity with your podcast host, Keegan. And this is your podcast for all mental health, addiction, recovery issues, and topics. And this is Impromptu episode number 5, I think. So I say it's number 5, I think, because I really don't plan these. A lot of the time, they usually happen on a Friday, whenever it's like, hey, I'm going to live stream either solo or with a guest, hopefully. And that's kind of what happened today. Is the guest was a no call, no show. So it's kind of funny. Like, here we are, and Jordy just got home. So hi, Jordy. Let me be right back. She deserves a little bit of attention. Huh? I mean, just started the live stream because the guest was no call, no show. Oh, okay. So it's just impromptu episode. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're tired. Yeah. Sorry. You feeling okay?
It comes and goes.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot left. No, is yours? I ate what I wanted left. Is the rest of yours? I have to go to Walmart soon anyways. Hey.
Can you get the liquid Dippleware?
Yeah, I'm not going today, but yeah, like yeah. But that should last you for like a day.
Well, the liquid works better for me. That's what I.
Yeah, I know. Especially with your throat. Yeah. But huh?
Have fun.
Okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's an impromptu episode.
Can I shower while you do that?
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that interruption, folks. Oh no, now I have to sneeze. Moo. Okay, it kind of works on yourself too. Interesting. Anyways, so this is impromptu episode number 5, I think. And I'm saying that because, well, I don't keep track of them. It usually happens on a Friday whenever I'm going to do solo or not. And I'm expecting a guest. And today, Shara Gabaldon did not show. I don't know why necessarily. I did reach out. Not necessarily like a week ahead of time, like I should have, but I did reach out and saying, hey, confirmation, like, are we still on for tonight or not? And they're not on Podmatch. They had their PR person reach out, connect everything. And so I was like, yeah, sure, I guess. And now I don't know how I'm going to keep doing people doing emails, like their PR or whatever. Like, I don't know where they're necessarily finding me or my email. Like, I know it's out there on some places and stuff. That's totally fine. That's kind of what it's out there for. But now I do mostly Podmatch stuff. And then some people have reached out to me via their PR or through email, and then I find them on Podmatch, and I'm like, why did we not just go through there? But maybe they set it up after. I don't know, but that's just one of those things that just kind of makes it cohesive and nice. So I digress. How are you doing this week? And I hope you're ready for the weekend, because it is one of those weekends where, well, it's a weekend. It's actually the first weekend of fall, really, in my opinion, and it's kind of starting to feel that way. And I love that feeling. This is the time of year for me to get sick and have a lot of disaster happen. It fucking sucks. So, with that being said, I'm kind of sitting here like, wow, I'm reminiscing, I guess, is that the right word? I'm reminiscing on things that have happened, good and bad, and at the same time, I'm reflecting a lot on, like, my leg, on how many times I've been sick, and the DUI I had, and the time that everything fell apart for me in the middle of, like, September, October, sometimes November. So it's one of those things that this time of year is not necessarily the best, but at the same time, it totally is, because those moments are what helped shape my character. Now, I did break, I did fall, I did kind of like stumble a whole freaking bunch, but at the same time, I did make it through. So I'm kind of wanting to say to everyone else out there, even though the SAD, the SAD, may be coming to get you, it can't keep you down if you don't let it. And that's the tricky part, though, right? Is it's so nice to just kind of stay down sometimes, to just be underneath that weighted blanket and just be like, yeah, the fire is so nice and cozy. But that's the thing, is that we can't do that all the time. That's stagnation. If we stay stagnant, we find ourselves not not moving forward. We find ourselves in a weird cycle that is neither growing nor decaying in a sense, but at the same time starting to wither away. So it's not that you're dying, it's a fade. You know, it's just like you're not really you if you just sit there and don't do what you makes you you, right? And that's kind of what depression, sadness, and the SAD, the seasonal affectionate disorder, if that's how it's pronounced, I forget, but it's sad, which is kind of funny, ironically. But that's the thing, is that it makes a lot of people sad. This time of year can start to weigh on people pretty heavily, especially because the light is less and our vitamin D is kind of if we don't get a lot of sun. So make sure to take your vitamin D and figure out what's a good dosage for you. Some people have a sweet spot, some people don't. I don't really know too much. I take what the wife suggests. It works. Do it. So if you're like me and you need a little bit of a pick me up whenever there's not a whole lot of sun and it's pretty cloudy, vitamin D helps in quite a bit of the time. So I just kind of want to say thank you to everyone that has supported the podcast thus far because, well, we're going on to big things. Like, not we're moving on per se, but we are progressing in a sense that I never really saw coming. It's kind of weird. Now, that's kind of the way opportunity works, though, right? We don't sit there and we do and we don't. But a lot of the times, whenever we have those crazy things happen like this, they just kind of come out of nowhere. And now those things can also make or break us too, right? So I had the choice of saying, yes, I can take that and do it now and everything and whip up season one real quick, or take my time getting everything together, figuring it out, and then do it maybe next summer. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't really like that. I asked the wife about it. She said, definitely do it now. So I got it done now. And I think it was really worth it because I've got some good stuff now. Well, it's not like it wasn't good stuff. It's just that it's more better. It's polished per se. And that's kind of what Jordy was saying whenever she was looking at the episodes because I need someone else to help give me perspective because I can only see so much. So without her, I wouldn't have the music as I do and everything. And so it was great. But that's the thing, is that it was a week of just grinding. Now, a lot of people may think that I was just kind of la 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 la, la button clicks here and there, pressing the keyboard, mouse, keep pressing the keyboard, mouse. No, no, it wasn't that. I wish it was. I would have been pressing on the mouse and keyboard, but I don't know where my mouse is last clicked, and I don't want to make everything go wonky, so we're just going to sit here and make noises. But that's I kind of lost what I was saying. Sorry. This is eh, that's what happens whenever things just kind of fall apart. Anyways, no, what I was saying is that I had a lot of work. I redid the artwork, I redid the intro, the outro, I redid the artwork, intro, outro, the episode formats for the most part, background music, and I had to get stills for everything, had to get captions, and so on and so forth. But all in all, I redid 5 episodes completely, and then I did 3 new ones. So 8 episodes altogether. Took me about a week, and that was, now don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I did 1 episode and that was done for like one day or something. No, I did a lot of rendering of 1 episode, multiple edits, and man. But the thing is that it was a lot, but I got through it, and I think it is all for the better. Now, if it actually pays off with season one on reveal, we'll find out. I'm excited, and I'll find out whenever that's actually going to be going live, and I'll let you know on, it should be October 15th is whenever I'll let y'all know. We'll find out. So in a couple of weeks, we'll know when it goes live. We'll figure out when everything is going, how it all works together, and we'll just see what kind of impact Retrieving Sanity has on the world. I'm excited for it. Sorry, I was just kind of listening for any background noise that I started hearing in my microphone. It's kind of weird. I don't know. But that's one other thing, is that whenever I'm sitting here and I'm talking a whole lot, I want to be getting things out there really fast. I want to speak quickly. I want to also speak clearly. But at the same time, I don't afford myself that breathing space. I don't afford myself that moment to Why? Because I'm afraid that a lot of people will sit there and get bored and click away, swipe away, whatever. If they haven't already, that's pretty impressive. 10 minutes in. So, with me having gone off and greeted Jordy, a lot of people would have left right then. If you haven't left and you're still here, or you're just now popping in, hello and welcome and thank you for everything that you have done for retrieving sanity, because it's your little willpower out there, friend power, whatever you want to call it, beaming out into the universe and then coming back to me that makes me go, maybe I should keep doing that. Ooh, maybe that's a good idea for an episode, stuff like that. So I have to say, without y'all, this wouldn't happen. I don't know necessarily how it happened, but it did, and we're here for it, just like I'm here for y'all. So that's why we have a Discord community. If you want to join it, please check it out. Let me know. I'll try to send you the link personally. I'm not going to really just post it out there. I can have that happen. Someone weird popped in. I don't know who in the world it was, but I digress. Without that being said, we're live on TikTok Friday and Saturday nights around 10:45 Central. So we're just kind of holding space for those that need it. However, at the moment, I have a lot of editing to still do. It's one of those things that it's a non-stop hustle. It's kind of like laundry or the dishes. Like you do some and you get eat more and then you got more and then you go to work and then you get dirty and then you go to sleep and then it's the same freaking thing. It's never ending. No one ever told me that I started up this podcast that I was going to essentially have a second job. And that's the thing, is that I love it. Like it's so much fun. The editing, the recording, all of it. I just enjoy it with a huge amount of passion. And that's the thing, is that I think my guests can kind of see it. And I know that a lot of them have the same passion too. But I think I may put some of them off because, as I learned from Jeremy, having ADHD, I'm going like, friend, I have friends. Everyone's a friend. And he was like, not everyone's like that. And I was like, yeah, I've kind of noticed that with my guests. Some of them are like, this guy's kind of like too friendly almost. And it's like, that's just how I am. But whenever we have those stressful moments, like what I did, whenever it was like, hey, do I want to like bust my ass for like a week and get everything done? Or do I want to sit on my ass for like 8 or 9 months and try again next year? Old me would have said, yeah, I'm going to wait because maybe I don't have the money. Maybe I'm too apprehensive about what the new requirements are for the streaming service. Maybe I'm just a little bit apprehensive about moving forward because I don't know necessarily what's in the future. But that's the thing. I'm not that old me. I probably would have said, let's hold off and wait probably 6 months ago. I probably would have said like, I'm not ready for that. Like I don't have the confidence for it. I don't think I'm good enough in editing. I don't think that the show is polished enough, so on and so forth. And I'm glad it didn't happen 6 months ago, because what I just said is true. That is how I felt, and it's still kind of how I feel about it. I think I got it good enough for season one. I don't think I got it perfect. I think I got it good enough for season one, because I can't aim for perfect, because I don't know what perfect even is necessarily, right? Because what I have in my brain for the podcast isn't some cookie cutter thing to where it's absolutely easy to do 100% of the time kind of thing. Like that's why I don't outsource it, and I'm also poor for that. $100 an episode? No, thank you. So, but it's just something that what was I saying? Thanks, Simpsons. But we can't really sit there and expect everything to go so swimmingly all the time whenever we have things like that, because sometimes we get put into a crunch without any kind of heads up, and we may not even have a deadline. Like that's who I was speaking to last night, Rob Tracy, and he was talking about how I'm lucky that I had that deadline because I knew when I could stop dipping my toe in burnout, is what he said. And that was pretty cool. I was like, well, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because if I kept that same pace up for another week, I would have been dead. I would have been so not good for like 2 weeks. Holy cow. But that's the thing, is that I didn't recognize necessarily how much I was putting in until I was just like lay in bed and I'm out. Like no sitting there scrolling on my phone. Just I lay down. That's not normal for me. So it's one of those things that, again, old me would have said, no, It's not there. It's not up to par. Again, I just got it good enough for season one because I don't know what it good enough is even. I just said, am I proud to have this stream as season one on Reveal? Like, I don't know. Maybe. So I checked out some of the other stuff that they have. Nothing podcast yet because I'm one of the podcasts they said that, hey, we wanted to do your podcast. So I was like, okay. So I can just look at other films or things like that they've done, and I can say right now that some of that production value is pretty high. So I have a high bar to hit, and I hope I hit it. I think I did for myself. Some episodes were a little bit rough, but that usually comes in the form of either my headphones are too loud and my microphone is picking up the guest as they're talking to me, and that really sucks to edit out. They've gotten better to kind of catch with Riverside and stuff, but I'm also trying to get my guests to wear headphones more, maybe have a decent mic if they do, but I've also put it on my pod match like, hey, we record for local radio, local TV, and now a streaming service. Like, if you want your episode to make the cut, it has to be of quality, And I had that actually happen with Jeremy on his round two. His mirror, his his camera was messing up at first. It was really laggy and stuff, kind of like what happened to Betsy Holmberg. She had an amazing episode. It was so fun talking about the default mode network, but her episode, like I edited and everything for Reveal, but then I wasn't happy with that video quality because me and her like side by side, I was moving fine, but her video was not. So I was like, oh man. So whenever to go full screen to her and she was all laggy and stuff, I was like, man, I can't do this. It's not of quality. So I scrapped it, redid a whole nother episode, and then now we're good enough. But Jeremy sat there and caught it without me saying anything, which tells me I need to start doing that before I record. Like, ask him like, hey, do we need to reset your browser? Do we need to do this? Do we need to do that? Whatever it was. But the thing is that Jeremy started having more issues, and so we eventually got it figured out, thankfully. But he did a little bit of MacGyvering himself and he got his camera, like a different one set up and stuff. So he actually helped make it good quality, like he helped raise the bar to where it should be, or I want it to be for a streaming service. So that's kind of cool is that he was able to do that for me to show me what I need to do for myself in future videos for my guest's sake, really, because that's the thing too, is that I don't want my guests to look bad because they maybe have a bad like connection or something like that. It's people and their whole look at like, look at the title of a book, look at the front page of the book. Do I read it? Yes or no? That kind of thing. It sucks, but it's just how it is. A lot of people do judge the cover and the contents of a book just by its title or cover. Sorry. Anyways, I don't know also what the hell is going on in the world today. Whenever I was out, whenever I say out, whenever I was recording, I was recording while I was editing. Fun stuff. Again, nothing too abnormal, but it was interrupting that workflow. That kind of sucked. But while I was doing that, I was kind of tuned out from everything aside from the Discord community, basically living under a rock. And then whenever it came around, whenever I was finished uploading everything, got the A-OK and stuff, I was like, all right. I checked the news and I was like, I missed a fuck ton, didn't I? So I was like, golly, whenever 5 days goes along and you miss 10 different world events, you're like, dude, no wonder everyone is so burnt out and so apathetic and everything nowadays because there's too much information going on. There's too much bad shit. There's too much evil going around. There's too much anything and everything. But the thing is, whenever we actually focus in on our bubble, right? Whenever we focus in ourselves, how we see ourselves is how we see our immediate bubble. And then that immediate bubble will also branch off to everything else. But it really depends on how we are with ourselves, how we are with ourselves with different relationships, so on and so forth. And that will influence how we see everything else. But we also have to be mindful with our social media stuff because that algorithm is made to make you pissed. It's made to make you sit there and go, scroll this, angry reacts that, scroll this. Oh, that's funny. I'm scroll this. It's made to do that. It's made to be addictive. So if you can kind of break off that cycle a little bit, interact more face to face, it's going to help you and me a lot in the terms of misinformation, or maybe not even that, maybe just mental health, maybe it's just connection that we need, because so many different guests that I've talked to have said that connection is where the real healing happens, and I kind of have to agree. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have connections, I'm saying that they definitely fucking help, but I'm saying that there's something in it that everyone can get. It's just really hard whenever you've been traumatized pretty badly by other people, different situations, so on and so forth. So I totally get it. But that's why we have that Discord community there, so people can kind of just like learn and grow as we all do, but together, you know. So it's an interesting space. I highly enjoy it and recommend it to anyone that may need a place like that. But again, like, the world right now is a scary place. It's just, it fucking is. So my best advice that I can actually give you is to just stay calm as best you can within yourself. Try to find your clan, find your village, whatever you want to call it. Find those that you can count on. Find your support system, find your net, whatever you want to call it. Find those that can help you, and be ready to help those next to you as well. Because if you're only wanting people to help you, but you're not willing to offer the help, that's kind of the part of the problem right there. Sorry, I'm just saying. Now, if you're not capable of doing it because you're handicapped or have disabilities, stuff like that, whatever it is, still, I totally understand that you're not a burden. I want you to know that. So just understand that we need moral support just as bad. So those that are capable and able to do whatever to help their neighbor, awesome, do it. If you're not able to, just be a moral support, because damn, we need some of that stuff, you know? Figure out what we can do for each other, and we'll find that the world can breathe a little bit better, but it takes a lot to get there. So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to end this episode here. We're at 22 minutes. I think that this is long enough for a little impromptu episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit of something weird, maybe got a little nugget or two, or maybe you just said, screw it, whatever. But one way or another, I just hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Friday night, maybe Saturday, whenever it is that you may be watching this. And I hope you have just the best weekend, and everything that you do, you're successful at. And if you're not successful, you at least learn something that is going to make you successful in the future. Because like Miss Frizzle says, if at first you don't succeed, figure out why, and then go from there. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and leave this episode right smack dab in the middle here. So without that, I don't know what the hell that was. Without further ado, much love. Schlan. Oh, guess what? I also have the now outro. So let's try it. Bum bum bum.